When you're cursing me, know that everybody hears it. Okay, team, welcome to Yoga for Balance and Bones. I'm excited about today's class, more because I feel like we could all benefit from it, right? I know a lot of people have shoulder sensitivity, shoulder issues they're working through. They've had on and off all their life. The goal is to always have something in your toolbox to assist you with whatever it is that's your pain in the whatever, right? So I think this is really going to be good for people with upper back and neck issues, but mostly the class is about isolating the arm from the spine, right? And we can do this in a yoga setting, but it will transfer into your everyday life. We know that oftentimes people breathe into the front of their chest, right? This is pretty easy to expand your belly, most of us, and especially our chest, right? But oftentimes we forget that our lungs are in the center of our body, roughly about here, right? And we don't really pay attention to breathing into that space. So if you're always breathing front body and you're not breathing back body, you're kind of compressing the back and just focusing on one aspect, which is kind of not balanced. So we want to try and, first off, for our nervous system, and second, for all the organs within our body, we want to try and breathe fully 360 degrees. I used to say 365 and I'm like, wait a second, there's a problem. That doesn't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to start standing with our feet hip width apart. Just stand in your normal stance. We want to think about our posture, of course. So if you wanted to take one hand to the top of your head and lift up out of your body here, it's like you're trying to press your head up into an encyclopedia, if you will. Okay. So that starts to engage some musculature in your body. It feels like you're lengthening your spine. Maybe not, but either way, your muscles are starting to engage. So keep that nice and tall body, relax those arms. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on breathing into our belly, into our front body to start, because that's always easy. And as you exhale through pursed lips, I want you to exhale all the way out. I'm going to do it once or twice on my own, all the way out, all the way out. And you'll feel your tummy and your ribs drop a little bit, right? Not a rounding, but you'll feel that your tummy moves in and your ribs move kind of down. Now, after you've found that deep exhalation, right? Keep the ribs down, keep the tummy pretty quiet. It'll move, but not too much. And now inhale through your nose and send the breath into the back lungs. And exhale through pursed lips. So we're aiming not to, it's not that. It is breathe in through the nose. Exhale through pursed lips. Feel everything move inwards and slightly down. Hold the down of the ribs. Use your hands as feedback. And now as you inhale through your nose, breathe into your back ribs. Your belly's going to rise a little bit, but you're going to try and keep the rib cage down. Exhale through pursed lips all the way out. Relax your bum. Big breath in through the nose, back ribs. Exhale. Gosh, this is hard. Couple more times, okay? Couple more times. We're gonna be doing this a lot today. Inhale through the nose. Soft inhale, doesn't have to be aggressive. Feel that movement in your back lungs. Exhale. So before we carry on, we will be focusing on that back body, those back ribs expanding, right? The intercostal muscles expanding. They run horizontally like a horizontal blind, right? Between each and every rib cage. So as you inhale, those intercostals kind of lift up. And then as you exhale, they kind of close, All right, like those horizontal blinds. So that try to get that visualization in your head. But what I do want to say, as we move forward, we're going to be doing a lot of this type of breathing. Try not to over exaggerate too much. I do for visual and audio, right? So you can hear and see what's going on. But sometimes when you breathe heavy like that, you can kind of hyperventilate. We do not want that. So if you ever feel yourself getting lightheaded, have a seat and just return back to normal breathing. Pretend. Okay, so from here, hands at your side, you're just gonna breathe as fully and naturally as you can and just roll those shoulders up, back, and down. So again, if we're trying to isolate the arms, it seems obvious that our arms are separate from our back, but oftentimes they do the work for us. Our back muscles, our spine rather does the movement that we're missing at our shoulders. So let's really exaggerate this up, back, and down. So if you were doing a warm-up, like an EMOM from Wednesday's Move Better 55 plus, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, this would be a really great thing to do as a warm-up for your shoulders. And now change direction. So squeeze the shoulder blades back, elevate them to your ears, roll them slightly forward, but not rounding your spine, right? Your shoulder blades are broad across the back, down and back. And now I know when I did this first thing this morning, because my neck was sore, there were so many sounds. Do you often hear sounds, team? Yeah, you can talk. Snap, crackle, pop. Now the sounds are okay because you're a human being, right? So take one hand to your rib cage, reach the other arm up, bend the elbow and take your palm to the base of your skull, straighten the elbow, rotate your thumb forward and down, lower the arm on a low diagonal, and then bend the elbow and take the back of the palm on your sacrum or your low back, or let's just say pelvis, okay? So again, arm comes out, thumb is down, rotate the thumb forward and up as you start to elevate your arm, bend the elbow, one more time, straighten. So we're just trying to wake things up, but we're also trying to stretch the fascia, the connective tissue of the shoulder joint, and just warm things up a little bit. Shake that out. Let's do the other side. So the hand on the rib cage is so that you feel if you're trying to cheat, right? You raise your arm and you arch your back. Let's not do that today, okay? To the best of our ability, take our arm out here. As opposed to here, for some of us who find pain in this range, maybe you're here, okay? So wherever you are is a beautiful place. Now, Heather, for me, press the base of your skull back into your hand, but your hand is pushing slightly forward. That's it. Good. Keep that length in through the back of the neck. You might feel some muscles working. Stretch the elbow, extend the elbow rather. Rotate the thumb down, forward and down. Arm low, bend. Good. Roll the shoulder back a little bit for me without your ribs popping. Good. And then we'll do that one more time. Thumb forward and up. Reach up, bend. Good. Up, rotate, down. Good, fantastic, good. Go over to a wall, any wall will do. You're just gonna take your forearm to the wall, palm at the wall, flat, elbow at shoulder height or slightly below. And now from here, step to turn, shoulders and feet going in the same direction. Open your chest out only as much as your feet and shoulders can remain on the same plane. It's very little. You're gonna get a little bit of a stretch in through the pectorals. Drop your shoulder away from your ear. Feel that chest in the front of your chest. Feel that opening in the front of your chest. Pectoral stretch. Nice breath here. Hands on the ribs, make sure we're not cheating. And let's go to the other side. I'll use this wall here. Again, forearm to the wall, palm to the wall, shoulder blade drawing down the back. Eyes on the horizon. See how far you can step to turn away from the wall without twisting your spine. And we know that a twist would be if your hips and your shoulders face different angles, right? So it's very, very small in most of us. Good. Are you breathing? So we're opening up the front of the chest here, release, come back through center. Let's just do a few neck stretches here. So arms down by your side, make fists with your hands as if you had those heavy grocery bags, right, which we often carry. Drop your chin in towards your chest, lift your chin up to the ceiling. Chin to chest, keep your shoulders back and slightly down and up. Good. One more time. Good, and then last time here, come through center, and we're just gonna look left to right. Functional movements, things you do on a daily basis. Again, your shoulders are facing forward here, and just your head is turning. We're not straining or pushing the turn, or even focusing on getting to the biggest range. We're just starting to open up the muscles, warm them up, send some blood flow there, so we don't feel so rickety, which we all do, right? Sometimes when you wake up. Good, shake out those arms. Good, last thing we're gonna do, we haven't done this in class in a long time. You're gonna take one hand, so if you can slide your hand under your t-shirt so that you have skin to skin contact, and then place your other hand on top. Good, and just gently tilt your head in the opposite direction of your palms, right? So if my hands are here, then my head is on the opposite direction. So right side down, head is going up and left, but very gentle, okay? So when you press with your hands, you can gently start to pull the skin down, but don't be aggressive about this, okay? This is pretty intense. A couple of easy breaths, hard to talk like this, and yet I still manage. Come back through center, let's switch sides. So, hand. Oh, I have a feeling I'm going to make the audio really yucky with this class and my speaker. And again, I'm going to lift my chin slightly up on a diagonal, opposite direction of where my hands are pulling down, ever so gently. This is a beautiful stretch to do in the morning, especially if you have jaw issues, tension in your jaw, headaches, right? Especially those ones that start right at the side of your temples. This I actually learned from Jules from the neck up on the Danforth. That was a stretch that I had to do as homework for my jaw, but it also feels just so divine. Grab your resistance band, team, and you're gonna take it to your lungs, the back of your body, where your lungs reside. You never think about that, but that's where roughly they are, right? Inside your rib cage. Protected, loved, held there. And then from here, you're gonna cross your resistance band in front of your chest, palms up to the sky, thumb and index finger being the spot where you're holding on. Yeah, good. And then maybe kind of just open the arms out a little bit so you feel a little bit of tension, right, in your band. It's not too loosey-goosey. Now we're gonna go back to that focused breathing. So as you inhale through the nose, you're gonna try and fill up your body here. As you exhale, you're gonna feel your ribs drop, your tummy move inwards. Keep the ribs down as you continue to breathe in through the nose. Focused breath to the back body. If the tension is too much and you're feeling it in your shoulders, you don't have to hold quite as tight. But you want feedback, right? Keep going. You want feedback here. So there's got to be some level of tension where your lungs reside, where your back ribs are. We all want to lift those bottom ribs, right? They're kind of all connected. One more breath. So we did about 3 or 4. Depends on how deep your breath was. If it was more shallow, then you maybe got an extra breath in. We're gonna take that same breathing down to the floor. This time, Karen, you have your hand up. Was that an accident? Yeah, was it an accident? Okay, no worries. So when you're down on the ground, you're gonna hold your resistance band instead of crossed in front of your face. Don't even worry about it, Karen, it's all good. Hold the resistance band like so. And this is where you may need some assistance and support on your neck, on your head, on your lumbar spine. We know our best practice is transition is from our hip. Might as well keep the band where it is, everybody. I love hearing you. I really hate muting. I really do. I do, Anne. I just think it feels like I'm less just performing. I'm like with y'all now. It's only taken me, 5 years of online classes to figure that out. But, there's always someone who might have a tickle or has music in the background. So it's hard to manage. But right now I think we're good. So come to your side and then transition onto your back. This is where you'll get the most feedback. So when you stand, you have the stretchy band behind your lungs. But now, not only that, but the weight of your body is connected to the earth, right? So once you're positioned here, take your time. We're going for 5 to 8 breaths. And that's why I said, if at any point in time, you can let your arms rest for a moment, you're starting to be dizzy or lightheaded, breathing in such a fashion, you just return to normal breathing, right? And then if you feel like you're up to joining us for a couple more, or just don't be as aggressive with the breathing, okay? So push your fingertips to the ceiling, draw the shoulder blades onto your back. Feel the tops of your shoulders pull away from your ears, and then you're maintaining that neutral pelvis, right? So we're not jamming our low back down, that's tucking your tailbone, and we're not arching our back and thrusting our ribs up. So let's find the right rib position as you inhale through your nose. Feel your body fill up, not just the back, but the front and sides. As you exhale, we're not pushing our low back in. We're just allowing the rib cage and the stomach to descend without pushing anything to the ground. This is just gravity, right? Exhalation. Now keep the rib cage down and inhale through your nose. And exhale. So you're going to send more breath, not just into your back ribs, but also into your belly. And that's what we want. Less chest breathing. So give me about 5 or 6 of those. If you need to rest your arms at some point in time, you're welcome to do that. You don't have to have such a great amount of resistance. It's just light tension as feedback. So feedback to me is like your teacher, right? You don't need me. There's your feedback right there. Focus on expansion in through the back ribs. Imagine those horizontal blinds of your back ribs opening up, letting the sunshine in to your lungs. And then exhale all the way out, calming your nervous system, keeping you in the present moment. Okay, can you give me one more, team? Big breath in. Karen, you're frozen, Karen E. So I don't know if you can see me. Oh, no, you're not. You were resting. Sorry. That's so funny. You look frozen there for a second. A good model. Okay, team, let your arms rest for a moment. You can remove the resistance band. My apologies if I neglected to say you're going to need your light bottle of water. I have 3 pounds here. Again, for my people who are dealing with shoulder injury, I say try it, right? And if it doesn't feel okay, then you just dump the weight, okay? So watch first, please. So the arm is going to start. Well, let's go into the supine position again before we do anything. My elbow is going to be at shoulder height, okay, and on the ground. So your upper arm bone is at the ground. Your hand is holding, I don't care which one, your hand is holding a weight and your knuckles are to the ceiling. So just watch for a second, please. And the movement will be inhale through the nose, expand, expand, exhale through pursed lips. And as you exhale, I want you to lower this weight towards the ground. So we're just weighting down the arm here, separating it from the tummy, keeping the arm on the ground as you continue maybe 3 or 4 breaths here. So inhale through the nose. As you continue, you might as well engage the legs. Pull your feet back towards your seat without your feet moving. So you're dragging your feet back. And from the ground, team, if you wanted to look, it looks like this 90-degree angle. If you are unable to get your hand to the ground at 90 degrees, then deload. Take the weight out. Okay, so I don't want you hanging out here with a weight. That's a passive movement here, and I don't want that to happen, okay? So just take the weight out, and we'll just take a couple more breaths together. One hand is on your belly, feet are dragging back, spine stays neutral, lots going on here. To someone who is walking by our Zoom classroom, they're like, yo, these people are doing absolutely nothing. We're actually doing a lot of core work here today. Take one more breath on this arm. Good. Keep the weight in that hand. So if you don't have a weight, you're going to grab that weight now and punch your fist up to the ceiling. So now your thumb is facing behind, your pinky finger is facing towards your feet, and your arm is floating in the air with your very light weight. Good. So just pause for a moment. So from here, take a big breath in through your nose. As you exhale, lower the weight behind you, but not 100%, okay? So big breath in through the nose. As you exhale, drop your ribs, keep your neutral spine, and see where you can maintain the weight without it falling to the ground. So we don't want the arm on the ground. We're just adding load to this information that we've been working on thus far, right? So the arm is on a diagonal. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Again, you should feel some work being done here in the arm, in the chest, in the tummy. Lots of control, focusing on stability. And we'll go one more time. That's it. Remember, not too far overhead, okay, team? I want you to be able to maintain this without pain. Good. Let that arm rest. Don't change hands yet. Let that arm rest. You can put the weight on your tummy or just by your side. So again, just so that we can engage our lower body here, I'm trying, watch my feet here, boom. I'm pulling them back towards my seat, but my feet are stuck like on, fly paper or something, right? So that I'm really working at toning the muscles at the back of your body while we're really focusing on the tummy, shoulder, and breathing mechanics. So here we go. We're gonna float that same leg. So I have my left hand holding the weight. So my left leg is gonna float up to tabletop. Take that opposite hand to your bottom rib cage again. Breathe into your hand. As you exhale, what are we doing? We're focusing on dropping the ribs and extending the limbs slightly away from our body. And exhale as you come back up. Inhale here. Come back up. I want you to plow that weight down by your side to the floor. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Hand on the rib cage. Inhale. Exhale. So now you're doing like something you would do on a reformer in a Pilates class, right? Inhale. Trying to keep the movement out of the spine, focusing on the core and the mobility at the hip and shoulder. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. You can do all of this without the weight. If you're finding this painful at your shoulder, lower your foot. Give that leg a little shake. Drop the weight by your side. And we're going to transition to the other side. You don't have to flip, but I will. Because you're not going to see much if I don't. Bend your knees, put your feet flat on the ground, engage your hamstrings. How do we do that? You know what to do. Who did I lose there? Was that Susan? Susan S. I hope she's okay. She's disappeared. Okay, here we go, team. So we're going to come to that 90-degree position, elbow in line with shoulder, upper arm bone resting on the floor, knuckles to the ceiling. Thank you, Susan. Good. Knuckles to the ceiling. Begin dragging your feet back. Hand on your rib cage. Inhale here. Exhale, lower the forearm down as far to the ground as you can go. Now try the other hand, even if you couldn't do it with the first arm, right? And then you can take your hand to your rib cage, keep that rib cage settled, breathe in. Tummy expands, exhale. Tummy contracts without smashing your low back down. That's your core. Good, 2 more times like this, inhale. I told you, slower class, but not necessarily easy. Dump the weight if your hand is not resting on the ground for this exercise. Just playing around with our breath and our control. Our container is our core. 1 more breath here, team. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Now we're going to punch our fist up to the ceiling. Palm is facing to the opposite wall. Good. Here we go. Hand still stays on the rib. That's your feedback. That's your teacher. Inhale. Plow the arm behind you. And try to keep your arm on this diagonal position. Wherever it is fine, right? This is not a competition. The only person you're competing with is yourself, right? I don't really care, but what I want you to do is not feel your neck and shoulders tightening up just for the sake of lowering that arm way back here. You don't get a prize, okay? I'm your prize. No matter, aren't you lucky? So find the position and let's breathe together. Again, inhale, relax your hip flexors. So those muscles at the top of your thigh where it connects to your pelvis might be screaming at you right now, especially with that pull back action. Exhale, very concentrated work. Inhale, expand into those back ribs. Why are you neglecting those ribs, right? It's from habit, it's from posture, it's from a lifetime of looking down. It's from a lot of different things. 1 more breath, then we're gonna have a rest. Bend the elbow, straighten the legs, shake things out. And then, sorry, did someone say something? No? Okay. Okay, knuckle to the ceiling. Leg is floating up to the sky. Here we go. We're gonna inhale, plow the arm behind us as much as we can as we extend the knee on a low diagonal. Exhale, bend the knee to 90 degrees, plow the arm down by your side. So inhale, back ribs expand, exhale. I can't remember how many we did. I did about 3 or 4, I think, on one side. So we'll do the same thing here. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale. And if you did more on that side and you remember, go ahead and balance that out. And pause for a moment. We're just going to move the weight out to the side. So you're gonna stay on your back. I'm gonna sit up, but imagine I'm on my back, okay? So from here, reach your arms out into a T, palm to the sky. Good, drop your shoulders down away from the ears, so try not to elevate your shoulders up. And as you exhale, you're gonna hug yourself, right arm on top of left arm. Good. So, I mean, it's going to be variable, right? We're all different size chests. Some of us may be able to grab our shoulder blades. Some are grabbing our elbows. It does not matter where you're grabbing. And then from here, try to pull your shoulders down away from your ears. And let's take a couple of full breaths here into our back ribs. So your spine is still neutral, right? It might feel like you're rounding, but you've maintained a neutral spine here, but your arms are giving yourself a nice hug, which has that feeling, stretching sensation of spinal flexion, which is kind of nice sometimes. So take a big breath into your back ribs. Maybe easier to find now. Exhale. Good, one more breath here. Exhale. Good, open your arms into that T once again. This time you're gonna change the cross of the arm. So now left arm is gonna cross on top of right. If you can grab your elbows, great. If you can grab your shoulders, great. And anywhere in between or on that scale. So drop shoulders away from ears. Press the base of the skull down so you feel that nice lengthen through the back of the neck. And again, big breath in here. Feel that expansion, that sensation of stretching in fullness in your back ribs here. So we're halfway to eagle arms right now. And some of us may never go past this today, and that's completely fine. This is option 1 for eagle pose for the arms. Good, release the arms, shake them out. Little shimmy shake. And now let's try to see if we can do the other version, which is no better, is different. It's more like the classical Garudasana arms. So arms are open or eagle arms. Good. So left arm on top of right. If we did that already, it's okay because we're going to do both again. Now from here, hook your left elbow into your right elbow and see if you can intertwine. Watch me here. See if I can. My hands are like this. And I see if I can get my fingers or palms to touch. So right now my fingertips are touching my palm. That may not happen. It might be the back of your hands touching. That's okay too. Or your back to your hug, okay? Especially if this causes pain. Now from here, spine stays neutral, correct? Yeah, so drop your elbows down towards your navel. Oh, and now drop your elbows up towards your head. And down. The whole time your spine stays neutral. Remember, focused on that exhalation, keeping your back bottom ribs down. Inhale up. Ooh, exhale down. That's pretty intense. Open the arms, shake them out. We're gonna switch sides. So I had left on top of right. Now we're gonna go right on top of left. So you start with the hug. Then you bend your elbows. Maybe the back of your palms touch. Yeah, maybe your palms touch, maybe your fingers touch your palms. You're just kind of creating like a intertwined tree branch. This is the eagle posture arms. Good, so your forearms are parallel to the ceiling now. And so from here, start Dina here with your elbows drawing down. So again, back of the hands together is fine. You might be tighter on one shoulder than the other, and that's gonna show up with that, right? And that's fine. So elbows pulled down towards your thighs. Good, and then up towards your head. Yeah, we're not doing this to a point of pain. We're doing this as a slight sensation of maybe 4 or 5 on a scale of 0 to 10 in terms of stretching. So we're just kind of sawing up and down. 2 times. Nice. Shake it out. Turn to your side, come to 4-point. So for 4-point kneeling, again, for those who are not comfortable on your knees, I got you. You can put your hands on the seat of a chair. You can even stand with your hands at shoulder height at a wall. It's all good. But what you are going to do is once again, find that resistance band behind your back ribs where your lungs are. We're making friends with those puppies today. Soup, knee padding. And then again, hands underneath shoulders. You just want a little light tension so you can get that feedback. So a lot of the times, if I've taught this in the past, I'd put a block on your pelvis. Sometimes if I've been in person in classes, I've put a dowel on people's back like we'd partner up. But I want you to get that sense of your neutral spine. You just did lots of work in neutral position. Even though we focused on ribs down, you didn't round your back, right? That's what would have happened if you flattened your low back into the ground when we were lying on our back. So we're gonna try to maintain that neutral pelvis and simply focus on breathing 3 or 4 breaths, those nice full expansive breaths into the rib cage. Keeping that neutral spine. Look at that beautiful pelvis, Miss Sue Eastwood. I love it so much. It's so neutral. Fabuloso. Good. So use the tummy to spine cue. to help keep your ribs in place, right? Without changing that gorgeous lumbar curve that we're all gifted with in life. Looking good, Ann P. I can't see you, nor can I see you, Heather, just so you know. And no, I see you, Dana. So, it almost looked like there was another person there. All right, one more breath into your back ribs. And exhale it out, navel to spine. Exhale, 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 exhale. There's your contraction of your abdominals. Good, and then release that. Let's have a little stretchy poo. You can remove the band, move it off to the side. By stretchy poo, I mean extended child's pose. So you can reach your arms on a high diagonal or into a wide T position and press your pelvis back towards in the general direction of your heels or where the ceiling and the wall meet in the back corner. Full expansive breath. This is your little break. If you would like a sip of water, please go ahead. We're going to add a little bit more oomph to that posture. Oomph. Diana-isms, Dana. More t-shirts required. Okay, so place the resistance band right back where it was. Come back to our version of a 4-point kneel, which could be hinged with our hands on the seat of a chair. And now we're going to focus on that breathing, but we're going to make it more challenging, right? Remember, you can come up onto your fist team or elevate your creases of your wrists if that 90-degree angle is painful, right? So from here, from your variation of a 4-point kneel, take a big breath in. As you exhale, extend one leg back behind you. Flex your ankle, draw your toes towards the floor, kneecap towards the floor. Pelvis is level, as if I had a dowel or a level on your pelvis from left to right hip. Stretch one leg back behind you. Yeah, and hold it there. Now, not hold your breath. Lift the base of your skull and pee. The movement is nothing. There is no movement. The movement is in your belly, right? As we inhale. And the movement is in the expansion of the intercostal muscles of your back rib. So settled. Dina, lift your leg up, hip height, flex your ankle, toes to the floor, knees to the floor. Good. So it's like you're rotating your inner thigh upwards towards the ceiling. And you breathe. Lift the base of your skull and pee. Your head keeps dropping. Thank you. If you need a break, go ahead. Now, have you shifted the weight of your body into your left side? If you have, yeah, right? It's natural. Your body's compensating for the load. That's deloading your tummy, your core, right? To do the thing. So we want to maybe don't do it as long because maybe this is too long, and try to keep your shoulders over your wrists and take a break for 3, 2, 1. Wiggle your tail, Dana. I know you wanted to do it. I saw it. It was just she started and she went, no, I better not. Wiggle all you want. All right, now we're going to go to the other leg. So again, the tendency is to offload, extend the opposite leg. So if you had your right leg up, now your left leg. So again, dial your toes down, not out. You will never have a level hip if you dial your leg out. So toes down, knees down, leg as high as you can in terms of hip height or slightly lower. And now shift the weight so you're centered. Oh yeah, I know. Draw the shoulders down your back, away from the ears. You want a nice, stable body here, right? Breathe into those back ribs. If you can get one more breath for me, Dina. Let's go, Heather. And then release. Come back into extended child's pose for just a breath or two. Yummy, right? Extended child's pose. You're welcome to stay in extended child's. For those who are, we haven't covered a lot of down dog in this fall series, but if you are a seasoned practitioner and you want to get into a down dog, by all means, please do. But note that the tendency is to forget about breathing into your back ribs in down dog. It's always breathe here, right? You arch your back, it feels so good. So bend your knees. Take the tension off your back line, push your hips back, and then if you would like to try and straighten your legs, great. Alternatively, you're doing this with me. Hands on the back of a chair, feet hip width apart, unlocking the knees, pushing the tush back. Okay, so a down dog with your hands on the back of the chair is great as well. Good, bend your knees, Sandy, and walk your feet back about 2 inches. So there's less weight in your shoulder. You want the balanced weight, right? That first variation, it was too much in your shoulder. So the more you separate your feet from your hands, the more you'll be able to even out that load. That's gorgeous. Now, for those of you who are there, focusing on your back ribs, pushing your palms down and away, even if you want to grab the outer edges of your mat. Yeah, if your mat is slippery by chance, right? And breathe here. Good. Unlock your knees, Sue-E, and push your tush up and back. Keep that gorgeous neutral pelvis. That a girl. Beautiful. 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees and transition to standing, not standing, to seated. If you want to support yourself because you find it difficult to sit in a neutral spine, upright spine, you're welcome to do that. Want a sip of water? Who's going to remind me of the homework today? Oh, like a proper chair. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said a chair in our... No. Nyet. You'll see why. See, nobody reads my emails. Gosh darn it all, y'all. I try to be succinct. It's hard. So you're going to have a seat. And you're not going to sit back. You're not going to sit back and relax. And you're not in a ottoman with your legs up. Although that would be really nice. I'm not, anybody else here a house hunter junkie? Like on HGTV? Yeah, right, Sue? Oh my God, that is like, it's like my Bachelor show. I don't watch The Bachelor or Bachelorette, but oh my gosh, if I could just watch one show for all eternity, it would be House Hunters International. Such a weird thing. But anyway, so here we go. Let's find our nice tall upright posture, right? So we started at the beginning with Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's find our mountain pose here. So we're going to get really tall, lifting up out of the spine, and then release your arms. You can feel the work that's being done in your tummy, in your back muscles. So your back muscles are holding you up here, right? Otherwise, you'd be slouched, right? So if you want to work your back muscles, people are like, how do I work my back muscles? Just sit up straight all the time. Take your arms out into a wide T, palms facing me. Good. YMCA. No, I'm kidding. Bend your elbows 90 degrees. Drop your shoulders away from the ears. So let's take a big breath in through our nose. Exhale through pursed lips. Feel how your ribs soften into your body. Keep the ribs down. Again, inhale. Center the breath into your back ribs. You're going to feel like you had a massage after this class. I'm pretty sure. Lift your elbows in. Good. Big breath in. Yeah. So we're in cactus arms to start. Focusing on breathing, centering the breath into the back ribs. When we take these gorgeous expansive breaths, we're massaging naturally those internal organs. Release the arms, roll the shoulders. Someone recently sent, and I appreciate them sending me this list of things we have to do when we're over 50. And we were bantering back and forth. I'm like, 50% of those things I did not agree with at all. Especially the detox stuff and eating. Dana, release your arms. She's like, hands up. Nobody's got a gun. It's all good. You can relax now. We were talking about this. But one of the things that the article which I didn't agree fully with, you might, was that we need to detox our liver. So have that lemon juice in the morning. And I'm like, see, if your liver's working, which all of our livers are working, because then you'd be turning yellow if it wasn't working well. Our liver does its thing just by being, right? We breathe, we move, we hydrate, we do nutrition, right? We feed ourselves. That's all it needs. It does not need lemon or celery or whatever nonsensical stuff that is not proven to make your liver work well, right? Nor does twisting in yoga postures. I don't know where I got that from, but I think my point is when we breathe well, it also helps our liver work well, our internal organs, right? So when we have those shallow, short breaths, we're kind of like ripping them off. Does that make sense? Too many words. Take your arms out. Right arm over left. Give yourself a hug, drop your shoulders. Stay really tall and focusing on that nice inhale through your nose and exhale through pursed lips so we can get that rib connection, that core connection. And then if you would like, you can attempt your Garudasana or eagle arms in any variation, any capacity. Okay, so if you want to palm, back of hand to back of hand. Now from here, drop your elbows away from your ears. Now you see how your spine is vertical here? Well, you can't, maybe you can see, I don't know. It's not this, and I'm not doing this, right? I'm upright, I'm focusing on back rib expansion. I'm focusing on back rib breathing. 360 degrees. Good. Open the arms, change the cross of the arms. This time left arm over right or the other if you've done that. And again, you can move your elbow up and down, but ideally I want your shoulders down. So we're going to aim our elbows towards the floor, opening up the sides of the neck. Nice stretching here too if you wanted to. Tall spine, upright posture, breathing into back ribs. And release the arms, adding on to that the legs. So I'm going to mirror you. So we're doing the same thing. You're going to take your right leg and cross it over your left. So what's new? No, kidding. So traditionally, they take this foot and they hook it behind. But see, what that does to my pelvis, you can try it. It kind of twists my pelvis and it really doesn't feel good. So poo-poo with traditional. I want you to just cross your legs and point your toes down like you're a very dignified person. So your right leg is over top of your left leg. Your arms are out to the side. Your spine is tall. Good. Now you're going to take your left arm on top. So right leg is over, your left arm on top. So it's the opposite. Left leg is on top, right is arm is on top. So it's the complete opposite of what your legs are doing. And then again, drop your elbows down, spine is neutral. Breathe into the back ribs, 2 deep breaths. Squeeze your thighs together like you have to go to the bathroom and you should have gone a long time ago. Feeling that pelvic floor, right? Lift up out of the spine. One more breath, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Draw the elbows down. Good, and release and change the cross of the leg. So now your left leg goes on top of your right. You can point those toes down. I mean, go ahead and do the twist thing. You know, it depends on the shape of your body. If your legs are super thin and you're able to get that behind without feeling that one hip is forward of the other, then go ahead. I don't know too many people who can, right? Gymnasts, maybe. Hyper mobile people, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? And people who maybe have a different shaped leg. Okay. Either way, we want the hips to drop down equally and evenly. So you can take your thumb crease into the crease or your thumb into the crease of the hips, push down and lift up out of the waist. Good. And then take your arms out and take the opposite arm. So if your left leg is on top, now your right arm is crossing on top of the left. You're going to find your eagle arms, Gomukhasana arms. Garudasana arms rather, not Gomukhasana. Those are 2 different poses. So Garudasana arms translates into eagle posture. Lift up out of the waistline and let's focus 2 full breaths into your back ribs here, Sue. You're going to follow this up with a walk by the lake. If you're in Port Elgin. One more full breath here, team. Good. This is a challenging pose, whether you're in a chair, but the reason I do it in the chair is because it's completely accessible and it focuses on the most important part. Breathing here, opening up and differentiating between our arms and our torso and engaging the core. We'll try a variation standing. For now, what I'd like you to do is take your chair to the front of your mat, whatever you deem to be the front of your mat. Move any props out of the way. We do them for time. Good. Excellent. Come to stand in your mountain pose, like arm's length away from the chair. So check what that would be for you. Okay, so do a hip hinge, take your fingertips to the chair or your palm to the chair, and that's when you know when you're in the perfect position. Okay, let's find our mountain pose with our feet hip width apart. Get your nice, tall, beautiful posture. Inhale, circle sweep those arms wide and up on a high diagonal. Exhale, down by your side. Remember, focus on the rib placement. Inhale, reach up. And exhale. So it's a lot more difficult in a salutation, right? Pause for a second, team, because in a sun salutation, traditionally we do this. We inhale. And what do you want to do when you inhale when your arms are up? You want to expand into your back body. So can we experiment with the breathing, right? So how about we inhale to start, and as we exhale, float those arms up. Oh, that's different. Good, and then lower the arms by the side. So inhale, kind of freeze. I'm messing my yogis up. They're like, what? Exhale. We're doing it for a reason today, yes? Lower the arms again. One more time. Inhale. So we're staying out of our front ribs, focusing on exhaling. Reaching those arms up. Unlock your knees. Tip yourself forward. So push your hips back and take your hands, palms to the back of the chair. Your bum needs to be like you're in 4-point kneeling. So if you're tucking your tailbone, you need to walk closer to the chair. Sui. Yes. Unlock your knees. Push your hips back. So you're in a downward dog position. So focus here. 3 breaths. In through the nose. Exhale through pursed lips. On expansion through back ribs. Opening up your back body. Focusing on really good breathing mechanics as we come into the season of colds and flus and all the things. Take one more breath. Exhale, bend your knees substantially, push your feet into the ground, come to stand. Widen your feet as wide as the mat, sometimes wider than the mat. Yeah, but you're still going to be facing your chair. I'm just showing you from this angle. So feet are outside of your hips. If they are on carpeted surface, please position yourself differently so you don't feel like you're going to slip. Unlock your knees, Dana. Push your tush back, right? Those sit bones are still facing behind you. Take your hands to the chair and now straighten one leg and then see if you can straighten the other. So the goal is to straighten both legs in what we call Prasarita Padottanasana. So it's a forward fold with wide legs. Same challenge here is keeping that neutral spine position. Sue, unlock your knees and stick your butt out. When in doubt, stick. Yes, much better. Good. Take a few breaths in. It's much harder to maintain this position breathing into your back ribs when you're in that forward fold and your arms are overhead. So focus, focus, breathe, expand, back, body. This is your detox class. Just breathe. Good. Bend your knees. So you're unlocking them. Take your hands to the tops of your thighs. Press the ground away and come to stand up with your feet hip width apart. You can have your chair there for support. It's not necessary, but sometimes it's helpful. And we're just going to come into a nice variation of a tree pose with cactus arms. So from here, we're going to come up onto the tippy toes. And this is how our legs are going to be throughout. The only other option to this is bring your toes to your opposite leg. Okay, so strong standing leg means you're pushing down. There's not as much load on this as there would be in eagle pose. So for now, I'm going to say in a tree, this leg is going to be straight, pushing down. Take your arms wide, palms facing me, bend the elbows. Good, this is our tree pose today. Again, if you would like, you can raise your leg. Right? I feel like I'm a Karate Kid on that post. Remember, we've all seen that movie, right? Push down with your standing leg for 3, 2, 1, and release. Let's do the other side. So if you need to turn around, if you need that support or whatever, back to the wall is also good too. So right leg on the ground, left toes touching the earth. Take your arms wide. Find the cactus position. Good. Maybe or maybe not. You can see if you can lift the opposite leg up. So hip flexion, core's on, shoulders down. Smiling, try not to thrust the ribs forward, right? This is a harder tree pose to me. One more breath. Whew, and release. Okay, shake that out. The next position we're gonna do is standing eagle pose. One thing I want to caution about standing eagle pose is the standing leg is gonna have the opposite leg on it, which is a lot of load. So if we cross one leg and let it rest and then squeeze it on the opposite leg and that knee is locked, we might want to reconsider the geometry of our body here. So what I'm saying is that, and I'll go up against the wall, you can even try it yourself. Instead of legs standing like we do in tree pose, nice and straight, we're gonna keep a soft bend in the knee. Okay, because some of you might be able to do a different variation. So left leg on the floor, left knee bent, but what's our posture doing? Just like the chair, nice and tall. Good, so from here, we're gonna take our arms out. Good, so now we have the right leg over the left. So let's take the left arm on top of the right. Find your variation. Good, either lift the toes up or attempt to cross your legs and squeeze your thighs together. I know. Here we go. Squeeze, Dana. Squeeze like your life depended on it. Now again, the option is here. Have a kickstand. 5, 4, spine is tall. Breathe into back ribs. 2, 1, feet on the floor. Unwrap your arms. Ooh. Okay, I know. Here we go. Bend the knees. All right, come onto the left tippy toes. So if my left leg is going over my right arm is going over my left, right? Here we go. I hope that all made sense. Here we go. Left, right arm on top of left. I can do it, I can do it. See, I'm mirroring you, y'all. So again, your standing leg is soft and bent. And then if you would like to, you can try and squeeze. Now, ideally in a real world where, you know, I was a 12-year-old boy 2,000 years ago, I would tie that foot and wrap it around my calf. Oh. But, you know, I'm not a 12-year-old boy, so this is what you get, y'all. Same work. That hip is working. The muscles are working. You're breathing. You're focusing on 3, 2, 1, and release. You see how hard that was? So it's a game of balance, strength, flexibility, focus, all in that one posture. 4 for the price of 1. Okay? So let's move on here. We got 1 or 2 more things to do. You can move that chair out of the way. You will need a blanket because we will end up on the floor for a few moments of mindful movement or mindful moments. Take your feet nice and wide across your mat. Since we were there last week, shall we revisit goddess pose, right? Our legs are all warm. Let's turn our toes out. We know that our knees and our thighs are moving back, so we have to squeeze the muscles in order for that to happen. Same posture as an eagle pose. You are upright. We are not pitching our torso forward or flaring the ribs, right? So breathe in through your nose. Exhale. Good. Take those arms out. We'll just go into cactus arms here, feeling those hips. Woo! Arms at a 90-degree angle. Relax your shoulders. Breathe. Find your focus. Find a drishti or a gazing point in the distance above your monitor. Soften your jaw. Find the ease in the challenge. Push your thighs back. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to make you stronger and challenge you. 3, 2, 1. Let's push the legs straight. Release the arms. Come down onto your mat, team. Nice job. If you would like to grab a quick sip of water before we end, we're going to go a couple minutes over. My sincere apologies. And this was me paring down the class. There were so many fun things. It's hard to choose. And so from here, come into your sideline position. Let's just do a nice figure 4 stretch, team. It'll really help out those hips. With both feet flat on the floor, you're going to take your right ankle on top of your left knee. Some of us are going to walk our left foot closer to our pelvis. Others are going to take that leg up to a 90 degree and interlace our fingers or grab our pant legs. If you have a strap, you're welcome to do that as well. So any variation is perfectly fine. Foot on the ground or leg at tabletop. Press the base of the skull down. Keep that nice neutral position of your pelvis and your spine. And then focusing on that flexed ankle, please. So that means your toes are drawing back towards your knees. In 3, 2, and 1. Lower your left foot to the ground. Hug your right knee in towards your chest and extend your left leg straight onto the mat. So try here. Remember when we were doing the bird dog variation and I said toes to the ground? Now toes to the sky, kneecap to the sky, inner thigh rotating down towards the mat, reaching through the heel. So energize that leg like you're standing on it. Nice, Dana. Chest is nice and open. Easier to feel that back breath now, team. Good. Place both feet on the mat. Let's switch sides. So figure 4, left foot on top of right ankle. Or right knee, rather. That would be interesting. And then again, you can either walk your right heel towards your seat, or you can lift that leg up in the traditional variation of figure 4. All is well, as long as you're not causing harm to your body. Respecting your limitations today, wherever you are. Good, and then from here, uncross your legs, hug your right knee in towards your chest, lower your left leg to the ground. Again, sharp leg like you're standing on it. Reach through the heel, spread those toes. And then lower both feet to the ground. Come into a version of a resting pose that feels good for you. I know I like the knees together, feet wide as the mat, palms to the sky. You might find something else that feels more restful for you. We're just going to take a minute or two here, team, before we finish off for the day. Any final movements that you need to get out of your body so you can sit in stillness for 60 seconds? Go for it. We're still focusing on that back body breathing, but can we do it softer, right? When we were first learning to breathe like that again, because we all had that ability as babies, when we're learning to breathe like that again, it can feel like a workout. So see if you can maybe find that same kind of breathing, but more natural, if you will. May not happen today, but we're still going to practice, just like practicing movement or lifting weights or walking greater distances. It takes time and patience. Take a moment for a bit of gratitude for your incredible body and everything it was able to do for you over the last hour. And most importantly, for committing to putting you first. I don't take these moments lightly. They're a big commitment with huge rewards, not just today, but for your future self. Take one last breath together, team. Big breath in. Side out, exhale. Yes. And then when you're ready, softly open your eyes, wiggle your fingers, turn your head from side to side. Make your way up to seating. And thank you so much for joining me, team. I have a homework assignment for the week, which you might enjoy because it's actually, I don't know, I think it's more accessible than some of the other things. 360-degree breathing with mindful movement. Find a comfortable chair, feet flat, hip width apart. All these directions will come to you. You can support your back, especially if you're sitting on a sofa, but I prefer to sit halfway through my chair. Close your eyes, gaze downcast, and simply inhale, gently expand your rib cage as you breathe in through your nose, right? That exact same cueing. Imagine filling up your back ribs with air, allowing them to expand sideways and backwards. And then exhale, release the breath through your mouth, softening your back ribs and allowing your body to relax. So you'll do that 5 times. And that's it. You're done. 5 times once a day. It's really going to settle and ground you and hopefully remind you to not just take those shallow breaths, but to focus on your entire rib cage. Thank you so much for being here, team. I appreciate you, and I'm here if you have any questions.